All right, so a little bit of news this morning. Sean Duffy and the FMCSA come out yesterday or the day before yesterday and said there's only 3 states left that is not complying with the rules and regulations that were put into place years ago. And that's Washington, California, and New Mexico, which I already knew. I mean, we all already knew that them states weren't complying anyways, but I'm glad they're cracking down on New Mexico because New Mexico is saturated and flooded with non-domiciled CDL drivers. And I'm so glad that they're cracking down on this. But Florida, Republican state, whatever y'all want to say about Florida, they hadn't been doing their job lately until recently. Recently, they finally been doing their job a few weeks ago, and they want kudos for that. I'm not going to give them any kudos for that, but I'll tell you what I am going to do. I am going to thank them because they've been doing something that we've been talking about on this channel for a while. They're actually putting federal officers in their way stations, and they're putting federal officers in the check stations that they got. The ag centers, they're putting federal officers in both of them. Immigration officers. So they're really starting to crack down, which we all know. Florida may be hiding a little bit because Florida is one of the biggest, to me, non-domiciled and illegal immigration states there is because of the Cubans and all that come into Miami. But and they have the worst non-domiciled CDL truck drivers there is. So, Florida's been under the radar for a little while, I guess, because that's where Trump lives, don't know, but they need to start doing their job. But I'm so glad that, the FMCSA hasn't given up on this and they're still pursuing it. Also, if you're a lease purchase driver or wanting to be a lease purchase driver, you might want to look at the new laws they're coming out with. They're trying to get rid of the lease purchase program altogether. So before you jump out of your company truck and jump into a lease purchase truck or even think about doing a lease purchase truck, look at the Act 250 law they just passed. They're trying to get rid of these, basically these big companies who are ripping off lease purchase drivers with the Raycon sheets, and duplicating them and sending them less than what they're supposed to be getting. So, don't jump ship and jump into a lease purchase truck until you really know that company you're working for is legit and they're going to stay in the lease purchase program, because the FMCSA has put a lot of laws into place restricting a lot of companies on this, where they have to report every year about you, how much you made, how much fuel you made, how much money you spent, how much you made, on your Raycon sheets, gross wise. So a lot of companies aren't going to want to do that because they're trying to stay away from the government as much as they can. So y'all look into that lease purchase before you jump into it. And anyways, follow, subscribe, let me know what you think.